Hello, everybody. Welcome to But I'll Take a Pinot Grigio, a Top Chef pairing mini a dish. Here we are getting to share a little bit about the show and get into some other things. I am Jeff, a resident hospitality restaurant industry expert, and I am joined by a newbie to the Top Chef world,
That's right.
the professor of pop culture,
Sundi. For all of you newbies out there, new to the podcast, I'm Sundi. I am the pop culture professor, and I like to say that I am the self-proclaimed expert, emphasis on the self-proclaimed, but I am very much enjoying being the newbie on Top Chef. It is turning out to be really fun. And I will say this about our little mini episodes here where we'd like do this little interview or we talk about books or whatever. These are kind of my favorites because we can kind of just really like get in there and chit chat about it, and we're not really having to focus so much on the structure of it. And so I really, really like when we get in there and just chit chat real quick. I like it.
Yeah, and I know I like to, when I'm talking a little more and I see you daydreaming, I know it's about Kristen and not somebody from Vanderpump Rules. Right. So that's good.
It is indeed. So like when I say newbie, I do not mean newbie to, Top Chef adjacent things, because I do fairly regularly check in on Kristen's Instagram, and if
everything you're legally allowed to.
Yeah, that's right. If we were to have a whole podcast about all the things that she posts, I'm happy to get on board with that. But before that happens, you have something much more serious instead of my thirst trap situations.
Very serious. Well, Sunday has had two wonderful interviews with the Cheftestants from this season. Chef Day, who we talked about last time, and now Jennifer Lee Jackson. That's right. You had an awesome interview with her. Very fun.
It was fun. And it's like her accent. I even said this to her, but her accent kind of started out fairly like Midwestern, kind of like in the top of her mouth. And the more she and I talked, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I may have a slight tilt of an accent. I know it's wildly unnoticeable, but the more she and I talked, the more her accent sort of floated in and out. And so it was fun. We talked about our grandmother's biscuits and like the heat. It was fun. We had a good time talking. So go listen to it. It's out now.
Lots of heat this season so far, from the blacktop to the Reaper peppers. Lots of heat. 2 for 2 in the heat category.
That's really interesting. I don't know if I put it together, but you're right. The theme of this particular season so far has been heat.
Yeah, and if you're going to be in the South in the summer, which they were, it's going to be hot.
Yeah. And then the South in the summer, plus all of the absolute hottest things you could possibly put in your mouth this past episode, which I told you it was my nightmare. There's no way I could have judged any of that. I couldn't even been in the room standing near the table. Their eyes were watering as they were bringing stuff to the table. So they better than me. They're better people than I am.
Yeah, pretty fun though to watch, a group of people do that many things with the hot peppers. Yep. Pretty neat overall. But because of your interview, I got to get you some questions. Some of those were about books that she liked or got stuff to prepare for. I love hearing about the little things they get to bring with them in addition to the pantries they have. But a couple of the books she mentioned, I happen to have
Hold on though. Remember, she didn't mention them, in the interview, because there were so many. She sent us an Instagram message. She was very sweet, and I am a total stan now for her. But she sent us some recommendations in later, because we couldn't get to them all. So whatever you're picking, I think is also from the list that she sent. I will publish her list either in the show notes or in somewhere else, so that way you can see everything that she recommended too. Just wanted to kind of come around to that.
A little background.
That's good. A little background. Because if you listen to the interview, you can hear her say oh, there's so many. Let me get back to you. And then she did get back to us. So I'll publish those in the show notes.
Luckily it was really easy. I had a couple of them here. It's a chef she has worked under. It's somebody I find very admirable. Somebody I'm happy to introduce you to, Sunday. I think it's somebody you would really get a kick out of, especially because you can start with one that's not like a cookbook, but kind of her story. This is kind of her kitchen confidential, if you will, but it's her kind of memoir, I guess. But Blood, Bones, and Butter That is by her. The whole title is The Inadvertent Education of a Reluctant Chef. She is a chef in New York City's Prune, has an awesome story, a very strong person. It's awesome how she talks about, she has some very distinct stories about food and its meaning. It's like something that happened when she is very hungry at one point in her life, and the food that she eats like nourishes her in such a way it, leaves an indelible mark on her, when she's broke trying to make it in a New York, kitchens, the little things she has, finding scraps around and wanting to make some gourmet food out of them. Like all the stuff that comes through in her book and her cooking and her menus, you get to hear her talk about it. And I think it's something that anybody that likes to read about food, hear about
Well,
it, the backstories of it, I
did
highly,
you say
highly
her name?
recommend it.
Did you say her
Gabrielle
name yet?
Hamilton. Yep.
There you go. Yeah. So I'm not too sure you said her name just yet. So Gabrielle Hamilton, and you guys can check social media. I'm gonna have like the link to her books. I'll have like the covers. You're gonna see everything. I mean, you're gonna hear us like kind of like wax poetic and wax fanhood about it now. But for all the details, head to the social medias about it because then I'll get out so you can like get it and look at it and read it in there. That
Cool.
was business. I was taking
That
business.
is
I was just getting
business.
taking care of the business.
The way she
No.
talks about certain food memories, like I was saying, just left like a huge mark on her. And that's what led to her cooking the way she does. It's kind of a hard scrabble story. I mean, there's definitely stuff I can relate to. I think there's stuff everyone can relate into there. Anytime you hear people talking about their lifetime work and like all the passion that's behind it, it's not somebody that's in here to be a popular chef, a TV chef, a celebrity chef, anything like that. This is someone truly in it, like love of the game. She does a lot of taking extra bits that people really wouldn't use normally, whether that's from an animal, the ends of a zucchini or squash, and like make something really fancy with it. I just think that's very cool. She does travel like in her 20s the way people in their 20s should. It's not like it's very like I could afford to do this little thing. I could afford to do this. We went to this picnic, like taking very, very quaint things and making something nice because they left such a nice impression on you is really turned me on to her. And it's lovely.
And you picked this book because Chef Jennifer worked under her at Prune, did you say? Is that where they worked together
Prune.
or no? Yeah.
And that's our next book right here.
Okay. Well, it was a good segue. That was accidental, but look how that worked out.
Yeah, so she worked under her at Prune. I have not been. It is an amazing visit from everyone
Where
I
is
know
it?
that's gotten to go. It's in New York. Very cool looking spot. A lot of the recipes in here are exactly what she's put on the menu. She has like actual pictures of like how when she first wrote the recipe, on a table back in the day, like this is what it looked like. Like there's scraps of little yellow legal pad paper in here. It's really wonderful. And she does a whole lot of things, everything from breads to snacks to full on entrees, and has a little story about them. She speaks a lot about the people that are in the restaurant with her because it's not a one person show, obviously, even though everybody knows her name that's probably going there. She gives so much love to front of the house, back of the house, the people that are there with her every day. I mean, she is calling out these people by name, giving everybody their flowers. I think it's just wonderful. And it's a beautiful book also. It's something I think you would really get into, even just to flip through. Like I said, the mention of the like zucchini bottoms turned into something, and there's something really cool. Like I love radish and butter with salt, and that's it. And that's all that's on the plate. And we're going to put beautiful pictures with it. And that's going to be on her menu forever because it's something she really likes. And that's cool as hell. I love it.
So I love butter and salt. Just to
Yeah.
interject there. But so Carla and I are going to New York City this summer. We should pop into Prune. Is that on the top of the list? I need you to make me a list of some places probably that we need to go because she goes probably 5 or 6 times a year. But she's dragging Ellie Mae to the big city with her this summer. And so maybe you need to make me a list. Prune, obviously, if you convince me, is going to have to be on the list. But where else? You don't.
Now, you
I'm going to
say
put you on the
that's
spot right now.
like it's been a while. When's the last time you were in New York City?
Last summer.
Uh-huh. Right. So it
Yeah.
hasn't been
No,
Really
I'm
high.
saying she goes, like, the last like, she was there, like, once a month for, like, 4 months straight. She really likes when I go with her, and so if I can have some stake in our trip, then maybe I'll enjoy it better, and so this sounds like the place that I need to visit.
It would have been. This is another. I don't know if it was just COVID or it was around the same time, but it did not make it past that. This book came out like God, 10
Okay.
years ago
So
now,
I
probably.
literally am gonna have to, like, undo all of that I just said right now then, yeah? There's, like so
Why?
Prune doesn't well, because Prune doesn't exist anymore?
Well, that's how we found it out on the show. I mean,
We did find it out on the show?
this show, we all just found out, you and everyone just found out together, if you didn't know already, that it's
Oh,
not around
just
anymore.
now, like, right now. I'm sorry, I think you may need to come over here and slap my face because I feel like so when did it close?
2020.
2020 oh,
Yeah. I don't
casualty.
really know all the details of it, but yeah.
Okay, well,
It was
never
around for
mind then.
21 years. I mean, it was around for a really long time, had a huge following, lots of amazing people came out of it. But yeah, I'm here more
Yeah.
for just the book side of it.
But I do appreciate the recommendation. I am absolutely going to check out Blood, Bones, and Butter because that is like the coolest name of a book ever. I literally just looked it up on my to be read list.
So all the looking up, do you think that affected for some reason, the questions and the answers you were receiving
No,
while you were live Googling instead of listening to your
I
co-host? Is that what
wasn't.
you're telling me? Is that why
I
I need to come
wasn't.
over there and talk to you because that's the only way you'll listen to me instead of
No,
being elsewhere on your phone during
you
this
did not
discussion? Is
say it
that
was
what you're saying?
closed. You did not say it was closed in 2020.
No.
That part no, that part, 'cause I got hype. I was like, "Oh, I'm headed to the city that this restaurant is gonna be in," and then he's talking about this really cool lady, so let me make a plan.
Right. Then you told me about Ellie Mae's trip to New York, and when you got done, I told you it was closed. I
Ugh,
wanted to bring up these 2 books really just because they made an
yeah,
impression on the person that you interviewed who's on the show. I happen to also have those. They made a really big imprint on me, like I was saying. I mean, I was deep in kitchen work at the time these were coming out. They're easy
and
pickups for me, and I really loved them.
which one has more of the, like, recipe-centered content?
That's Prune. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Do you
all
cook
stuff
anything?
taken straight from yeah, I didn't have anything marked, unfortunately. I remember, like, going through and making little snacks, like the radish thing. There's drinks in here, and I remember making, like, really great cocktails from it at the time. I know you don't like the spicy stuff, but she has a chili oil in here, and that was, like, way before, like, a crushed chili oil became, like, a big thing. So
How
that was
long
really neat.
how long will a dish made with chili oil stay with you? Like, how long will the heat stay with you?
If you don't mind it, really not long at all, but I think you may let it stick around for a little while.
Oh, because it's just completely psychosomatic. It's not literally a physiological response.
Well, you don't enjoy it as much as me, so it may be something that sticks with you
I
more.
think our judges may have something to say about that because they seem like they were having a real physical response to last week's heat
Th
challenge.
Yeah, this is not a lot of Carolina Reapers or Pepper X, whatever radioactive stuff that was going on.
Well, my recommendation,
Yeah,
my very unserious recommendation as we watched this past episode and we talked a lot about like the heat and I learned a lot about like the chemistry of a pepper and the units in which you measure it, a Scoville.
Scoville
Say that
units, yeah.
a Scoville unit, right. And so I remember I show a specific episode of Hot Ones in my class. Are you familiar with the YouTube show Hot Ones?
Oh, I love hot ones, yeah.
Well, my very favorite episode that I show sometimes to my students as a way to kind of like talk about context and talk about like cross genres is the Cardi B episode of Hot Ones. You can't call her the consummate professional, right? Because she is very much a relaxed human being and she kind of moves through the world with her own sensibility. But to watch her with these very long nails and this
Mhm.
very, like, she's made up in a very sort of like drag queen-esque way. And like she has these very like combined, eat these hot wings is one of the very joys of my life because she is falling apart by the second.
Yeah.
And so it's very fun. And it reminded me the judges that we watched were so much more poised and composed. And, when you read this, when you read the books that you recommended, you can pop over to watch the episode of Hot Ones that has Cardi B on it.
They're all great because those people are all on press tour. Like they're all done. They are on there. They're
Mm-hmm.
eating really hot stuff and calmly answering questions. Like he's such a good interviewer and he's so even keel. Like it's
Yeah,
really
asking
entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, asking these very funny questions, and it's season 22, episode 21, and you made a joke the other day about, "I hope you put the toilet paper in the freezer." Yeah, that's that is a very pressing need there.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. Well, speaking of fun little stuff, I have a fun little game for us to do.
Oh,
We
yay, give me a game.
want to have some of our own food when we talk about the show next time and we get to watch, I figure. So we
Okay,
have 2 segments really that make up Top Chef. You've got the
okay.
elimination challenge and you've got the quick fire challenge. Of course there's some little in between stuff, but to try this for the first time, I thought you could pick one of your favorite elimination or quick fire challenge from last week. So that would be hot peppers or Talenti Gelato. And I'm going to pick from this little bucket right here that Brooke made with some choices, some
Okay,
foods from North and South Carolina. So
okay.
we'll combine those two, and then I will whip something up by this Monday's episode, and we'll film a little something for it. So
What?
first, you have to
What if
pick
it gets too
between.
hot? What if it's too hot? You're gonna make me eat it anyway?
Well, you're not guaranteed to get something hot.
I know, I'm worried that it will be hot, though.
Well, then pick between Talenti Gelato and hot peppers.
Oh, it's not all mixed together. Okay, then obviously I picked the Talenti Gelato. Duh.
Talenti
Okay,
Gelato and one of
okay, give it.
these right here. Tell me when to stop.
Okay. Big money, big money. No whammies, no whammies. Stop.
Okay, it's a pink one. So
Okay.
the flavor we have or ingredient from North and South Carolina, barbecue, at least 2 ways mixed with ice cream. You ready for this?
I mean, am I?
I mean, we can go with it or you can go again, whichever you'd like.
No, I want it. I feel like
Okay,
this is a challenge for you
I'm
right
doing
here,
it.
for sure.
All right. And with that pick, that's going to be barbecue 2 ways into ice cream. You will be eating that Monday.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is going to be Friday that this is getting dropped.
When you hear this, it's Friday, and we will execute our barbecue 2 ways, and you can see it on Monday.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And then from then on
Yay!
out, we'll do it a little closer to the show. So between now and then, read everything Gabrielle Hamilton ever wrote. It's very
Mhm.
cool. Listen to her. She's a great interview also. I think she has some cool NPR interviews, and those are awesome.
Okay.
Till then, anything
Okay, well, I
else?
can't wait. I can't wait to eat my barbecue 2 ways. Find us all on all of our socials. There's lots of Vanderpump Rules. There's lots of Ladies of London. There's all kinds of things that we're doing. So just go and find us. I've talked too much about schedules and smoke is coming out of my ears right now. So just do a Google, people. Just do a Google.
Thanks, everybody.